Good morning, students. This is the first prose of the 12th standard. Two Gentlemen of Verona, A.J. Cronin, by A.J. Cronin. A.J. Cronin, Archibald Joseph Cronin. He is from Scotland and he is a novelist. And more about him, you can see him in the. Details will be given for you in the video itself. You can see it in the PDF page later. Okay, he is a doctor. He is a doctor, and he has written many books and novels. You can see more about him in the PDF page. Okay, coming to the lesson, the title itself explains two gentlemen of Verona. First of all, you must know what is Verona. Verona is a main city in northwestern Italy. And these two gentlemen represents Nicola and Jacopa. Why the title is given Two Gentlemen by A.J. Cronin? That is the reason we are going to see. The reason behind this we are going to see throughout this lesson. So the two gentlemen is none other than Nicola and Jacopa. Okay. Starting, we can see the characters before we go inside the lesson. A.J. Cronin, who is the narrator, he will be narrating the lesson. His driver Louis, Nicola and Jacopo are aged 13 and 12. They both are brothers. And last one character is Lucia. She is the sister of Jacopo and Nicola. Okay, I'll tell you the gist of the story so that it will be easy for you to understand the passages and paragraphs of the prose while I am teaching. Why they are called Two Gentlemen of Verona means, at this small age, these two children, Nicola and Jacopa, at the time during the war between always this German, the European countries war and all, okay, might be the Second World War. So during those war, their home was shattered, destroyed and devastated, and how they came up in life and what they are doing, what effort they took, and why the reason behind them is being portrayed as two gentlemen by A.J. Cronin is that the main reason is during the small age of their childhood itself, they lost their home and everything, and they make out a living, and they do all kind of odd jobs. We say all odd jobs in order to pay fees to recover their only beloved sister Lucia, who is suffering from TB of spine. Okay, you all know spine, TB, tuberculosis of spine. They are gathering lots and lots of money, doing all kind of many jobs like hawking newspaper, or shoe polishing, selling strawberries, taking the tourists to many places. So they do all the sorts of things which they can gather money in order to save and rescue Lucia from her illness. What is her illness? Is that she is suffering from tuberculosis of spine. So, Two Gentlemen of Verona by A.J. Cronin. Life is full of ups and downs. It has pleasant surprises as well as rude shocks. Nevertheless, every incident offers a lesson for us to learn and evolve into better individuals. So, life is full of ups and downs. Life means definitely there will be lots of problems which each and every individual faces in their life. But however, how we are facing that problem and coming out of it is the main thing that we have to learn from each and every individual. Okay, likewise, this is a story about love, devotion, sacrifice, sincerity, maturity displayed by two little boys in their actions to save the life of their sister who suffers from tuberculosis of the spine. So, we are going to read the story and learn many things about Jacoba and Nicola, the way how they lived, how the effort they have taken to take care of their sister. Throughout this lesson, we can see the narrator is the author himself, A.J. Cronin. As we drove through the foothills of the Alps, two small boys stopped us on the outskirts of Verona. As we drove through the foothills, foothills means the base of the mountain. Okay, the foothills of the mountain, the Alps. Alps means it's a great mountain range which lies in Europe. Many of you might have come across this mountain, the Alps. Okay, foothills means the base, the mountain's base, the bottom part of the mountain. Okay, you can see many people living there. Okay, so kind of like as we drove through the foothills of Alps, two small boys, they are stopping the car of the author. Okay, stopped us on the outskirts of Verona. Outskirts means the outer area of a town, outer area of a town or a city. We call it as suburban. Urban means city, suburban. Okay, so outer area of a city, that is what we say suburban. Okay, outskirts of Verona. They were selling wild strawberries. So as I told you, these two small boys, they were doing lots and lots of work like selling strawberries, polishing shoes, selling newspapers. So all these things, they were selling strawberries. Don't buy, warned Luigi. So you can see, I told you in the character itself, there is before displaying of the board, I told you there is a character called Luigi who is the driver of the author. What he is telling is, don't buy. He is giving a warning to the author not to buy the strawberries from these two children. Why he is telling like that, we will analyze that in the coming lines. Don't buy, warned Luigi, our cautious driver. Cautious means what? One who is very, very aware and alert. Okay, that no harm should come for them. So one who is very alert and very, very alert and aware. So the driver is very cautious. He is giving a suggestion that you will get much better fruit in Verona besides these boys. You will get much better fruit in Verona. So the driver is giving a suggestion to the author that they will get good fruits in the town, because in the outer skirts, Luigi is having a bad opinion on these two. This driver, Luigi, is having a bad opinion of these two children by seeing their behavior. They are looking somewhat shabby, untidy, not neat. They are wearing some khaki pants and kind of dress which does not look good in the favor of the driver. Okay, so he is warning the author not to buy the strawberries from the two boys. You will get much better fruit in Verona. If we go to the city, we will get good fruits. He is giving a suggestion to the author. Besides these boys, and there is one dot. Besides means what? Additionally, these boys, they don't look good. So we all have an opinion when they are looking somewhat ugly and not good in nature, not good in behavior, their demeanor is not good, is not looking good, means people don't buy. A kind of like a kind of a psychology. Okay, so besides these boys, he shrugged his shoulders to convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance. He shrugged his shoulders. Shrugged means shaking the shoulders. Shrugged, particularly when we see some, we can find this example by saying shrugged means moving your shoulders. Moving your shoulders like when an elephant takes sand and put on its shoulder, or an cow or an ox, when they move their shoulder, that is what called shrugged. Shrugged. He shrugged his shoulders to convey. He is trying to give symbolic expression in order not to buy from these two boys. He shrugged his shoulders to convey his disapproval of their shabby appearance. Shabby means what? One who does not look good, looking untidy. Okay, one boy had a worn jersey and cut off khaki pants. So one boy, among the two boys, one boy is wearing a worn jersey. WORN. Worn means a dress which is kept on, which we use it for many times, and it is worn out, nearly torn, nearly it is going to tear. That is what a worn jersey and cut off khaki pants. Khaki pants which is cut off, which is not complete, which is not neat. Okay, cut off khaki pants. The other, a shortened army tunic gathered in loose folds about a skinny frame. The other person is wearing an army kind of dress. Okay, army kind of tunic. Tunic means it's a loose garment, like a loose garment without sleeves. Without sleeves. This is what we say sleeves. Okay, without this sleeves. Okay, he is wearing a kind of like bunion like army unique army tunic, gathered in loose folds about a skinny frame. He looks very skinny. Okay, he is having a frame means what structure? His body is fully skinny. The other boy, yet gazing at the two little figures with their brown skins, tangled hair, and dark earnest eyes, we felt ourselves strangely attracted. Despite their appearance, their shabby appearance, their bad looking appearance, tangled, there is a word called tangled. Tangled hair means hair which is not neatly combed, which is tangled, it is somewhat clumsy, crooked. Okay, not neatly combed, tangled hair. Okay, despite all these things, okay, we felt ourselves strangely attracted. So despite, though they were looking so bad, the author is having a little attraction towards them. My companion spoke to the boys, discovered that they were brothers. My companion means the author's companion. Who is the author's companion is Lugi, the driver of the author. Okay, the driver is the companion. My companion, driver, found out that those two boys were brothers. Okay, one is Nicola, the elder. So we can see Nicola, I told you in the previous display. I told you that Nicola is the elder and Jacoba the younger. Nicola 13 years old and Jacoba 12 years old. Nicola the elder was 13. Jacoba, who barely came up to the door handle of the car, was nearly 12. Who came barely near to the door of the car is Jacoba, who is 12 years old. We bought their biggest basket and set off towards town. So despite Lugi's attempt of not making the author buying the strawberries, the author bought the biggest basket and set off. Set off means starting a journey. Set off to the town. Okay, set off towards the town. Next morning, coming out of our hotel, we saw our friends bent over shoe shine boxes beside the fountain in the public square, doing brisk business. So next morning, the author and the driver is coming out of their hotel. They are seeing once again these two boys, and considering their friends, we saw our two friends bent over shoe shine boxes. They were shining shoes, polishing shoes. okay, polishing shoes beside the fountain in the public square. Public square means a junction, the end of a junction where where four roads will be separated. From there you go left side, right side, okay, front, and where some shops will be there. That is what we say public square, and there will be a fountain in the center. So there, at that place, these boys are polishing shoes and making brisk business. We watched for a few moments. Who? The author and the driver. Okay, Luigi. They watched them for a few months. Then, as trade slackened, we went over. As their trade means what? Business. As their trade slackened means what? When business growing, gradually becoming slow. Okay, they started their journey. The author and the driver left their place. They watched Nicola and Jacoba polishing shoes, and as their trades slowed, they started moving off. I thought then they greeted us with friendly faces. So they both went to the author and the driver went towards the two boys and started giving a conversation. Okay, they greeted us with friendly faces. So both the boys are greeting the author and the driver. I thought you picked fruit for a living. I said, we do many things, sir. Nicola answered seriously. He glanced at us hopefully. Often we show visitors through the town to Juliet's tomb and other places of interest. So the boys, I thought you picked, so the author is telling, I thought you picked fruit for a living. But today he is able to see, yesterday they were selling strawberries, now they are polishing shoes. So the author is putting a question, I thought you were doing, you are selling fruits for making a living. But besides that, we can see that these two children are even polishing shoes. I thought you picked fruit for a living, I said. But the reply from the two boys, we do many things, sir. What they do? They show visitors through the town to Juliet's tomb. They take visitors to the Juliet's tomb. Maybe it's one of the tourist place to visit Juliet's tomb and other places of interest. All right, I smile. You take us along. Okay, so the author is asking the two boys to take them along to show different places. As we made the rounds, my interest was again provoked by their remarkable demeanor. They were childish enough and in many ways quite artless. As we made the rounds, as they were traveling here and there, okay, my interest was again provoked. Provoked means once again he was out, it induced the author. Okay, it induced. Provoked means what? Inducing, stimulated. Okay, the author got stimulated by these two boys and by their remarkable demeanor. Demeanor means their behavior. Okay, their behavior. Okay, the appearance and behavior. They were childish enough. They were small children, out of only 12 years and 30 years. They were childish enough and in many ways quite artless. Many ways quite artless. Okay, artless means what? They were looking so innocent. Okay, artless means innocent. It is given in the book itself. Okay, you can learn it. Quite artless. Papa was lively as a squirrel. Lively means what? One is so energetic, one is so active, one is always vibrant, doing many things in an enthusiastic way. One is so active. So Jacoba was lively as a squirrel. Nicola's smile was steady and engaging. So the other brother, Nicola, he was always steady and he was also enterprising. Yet in both these boyish faces, there was a seriousness which was far beyond their years. Despite that, from these two boyish faces, there was some seriousness we could easily find from their face. In the week which followed, we saw them frequently So the author and the driver was able to see them frequently in the streets doing all sorts of business. For they proved extremely useful to us. They were so helpful to the author and the driver, guiding to the places, taking them here and there. Okay, if he wanted a pack of American cigarettes or seats for the opera or the name of a good restaurant, okay, these boys were helpful by taking the author to the opera. Opera means what? A musical concert. A musical concert. And if the author needs some American cigarettes, they were helpful. So they were so handy. Okay, they were so helpful for the author, taking them to a good restaurant. So they were so helpful to the author in many ways. Nicola and Jacoba could be relied upon to satisfy our needs. Whatever the author was in need, these two children were helpful and providing all sorts of benefits, all sorts of helping hand for the author. What struck one most was the willingness to work. The author is telling what struck one. Anyone who sees these two children will definitely get attracted and inspired and might be awestruck because of these two energetic children doing some all sorts of business. What struck one most was the willingness to work. During these summer days, under the hot sun, they shined shoes. So these are the jobs. What were they doing? Shined shoes, they were polishing shoes, sold fruit, they were selling strawberries, hawked newspapers, selling newspapers. Hawked means what? A voice which they give while they sell some things. You can see the fruit vendors, while they come to the streets or while they sell some fruits, they will be giving one voice. That is what hawking the voice. Okay, hawked newspapers, conducted tourists round the town, they were taking tourists all around the town, and ran errands. Errands means what? See, the errands means a small journey to buy something for others, doing small help in buying cigarettes or those things and all. That is what called errands. So round the town and ran errands. Okay, so we have seen till this page number 2. Okay, the remaining session we will see in the next class. Thank you.
An overview. This is a poignant story that recounts the tough life chosen by two young boys, Jacopo and Nicola, aged 12 and 13 respectively. The story describes how the two young boys undertake odd jobs to sustain themselves and to pay for the treatment of their elder sister, Lucia, who is afflicted with tuberculosis of the spine. War had killed their father and left them homeless. Like true noblemen, the two brothers worked day and night to earn anything they could without resorting to beggary or unfair means. Their sincerity, diligence, and devotion to a noble cause earned them the writer's respect. The writer has used the same title as Shakespeare's play, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, but Cronin's gentlemen are very different from Shakespeare's. Cronin's portrayal of these modern gentlemen of Verona redefines the concept of gentlemanliness. He propounds the idea that one can be poor and shabby and still be a true gentleman with magnanimity and nobleness of purpose. About the author. Archibald Joseph Cronin lived from 1896 to 1981. He was a doctor by training but happened to take to writing while recovering from an illness. His first novel, Hatter's Castle, was a roaring success. This made him give up his medical practice and take up writing as a career. Some of his other novels are The Stars Look Down, The Keys of the Kingdom, The Green Years, The Judas Tree, A Song of Sixpence, A Thing of Beauty, and The Citadel. Most of these novels have been successfully converted into films. His writings are marked by realism and are primarily social commentaries. Cronin's narrative skill, his acute observation, and graphic imagery are his major strengths as a writer. Summary. In this module, you got a general idea of the story Two Gentlemen of Verona and gathered some facts about the author A.J. Cronin.